Very pretty.
Good morning.
Hello, I'm here with Maria at the Paul Bunyan Show, and you guys are the owners of ENDORS.
Yes.
And you guys do arborist gear.
Yes. Yep.
And so you do a lot of custom splicing. Is that your
do.
husband back there doing that?
That is Scott. Yes.
He's the brains and you're the beauty.
Yeah, we'll go with that.
Maybe you know more than he does, so I'm guessing you run the business and he works for you. That's my case. My wife is the boss.
Yeah, well, I'm the wizard behind the curtain.
Yeah,
so I don't. Yeah, he's the guy that knows all the knowledge. He's been doing this for 36 years.
Really?
Yep.
So what's the main part of your business? What do you do the most of?
The supplies.
Supplies.
That's supplies, but he's the trainer. He trains, so he goes all over the United States and trains. Scott does all of our State of Ohio Bureau of Workers' Comp training.
Oh,
He does the training for the Ohio Forestry Association, which this is a part of, and goes all over the United States. So he has the vast knowledge of the business, the pieces, parts, how they work, what the current trends are.
So do you sell a lot of ropes? That's a big part of your thing?
Absolutely. We sell any component dealing with the arborist industry.
So that's like the main thing is the ropes.
Absolutely.
And then from there, what's like your next? Is it like pants, boots?
You know what? It's just it varies depending on who's coming in the door. We get people that do tree work, but we also get a large group of people that do roofing. Any at height
safety
type of gear. Yeah. So we have harnesses geared towards the roofing groups. Hunting. We've got a whole line of gear and saddles geared towards the people that hunt because
You're speaking my language.
Because they go up to an at height that they want to be able to climb a tree, and we try to get them in there as safely as possible.
Try to get them down safely. Exactly.
I always tell people, I can get you in a tree. Getting down that's on you.
I have a friend years ago that fell out of a tree and broke his leg and almost died, so I know all about it. And I was with him when it happened, so it's a big deal.
We try to make sure that everyone understands that they're all part of an integral team when they're outside working. There's like, I'm just a groundie. I'm like, no, you're not just a groundie. I said,
the groundie kind of runs the show.
Absolutely. They keep that person up in the tree safe.
Right.
Or they're the ones that, God forbid, there would ever be an accident.
Well, they're calling the drop zones. They're calling,
they're a yin and yang. They're not, one is not more important than the other. They help a well-oiled machine if they work well together.
Let's look at your gear. Show me some of the stuff you got inside the booth here. And go back and maybe your husband give us a little demonstration. So what do you got? Just show me everything you got here.
We've got all kinds of things. We got all kinds of helmets from every brand you can think of. We just got smattering out here at this moment. The rest of the storage is back in the back, but you've got anything geared towards climbing, some logging things, some great things that people use for when they're landscaping, things that they'll be able to pick up. Oh gosh, there's just wedges and
I'll go around
pulleys
and look at all
and
this
blocks.
stuff too. So wedges and all the gear.
I'm right behind you. I'm right behind you. Sorry. So you got helmets of all
kinds.
kinds.
I have this exact helmet. We got the comms put in them too and everything.
Comms are great. You know what? It makes
there's five of us. We got comms, and it's so nice when we're working together. No more hand signals and screaming at the top of your lung. And the hearing protection on these are absolutely awesome.
Absolutely. Homeowners love how quiet people communicate. Without the screaming and yelling, it does help significantly. Communication is key to keep safe.
Yep.
So we have a little bit of everything.
Boots, climbing gear. You sell a lot of the cut protection stuff too?
Yes, absolutely.
So my brother just bought a pair of pants, and apparently he bought the last size that would fit me. So.
We actually ran out of a lot of things. This is like our Weaver felling belt. That's a whole kit. So that is a very common.
So is this a cut-proof coat or just a safety one?
Nope, neither. Just one for fashion.
Yeah,
these are climbing pants by Solidar. These are Arbortech.
And they're vented in the back.
Yep. All kinds of slings for cranes, different types of crane sling components.
And then you got obviously rope back here.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, and rope is something that people don't realize. It only lasts so long, and you got to replace it.
Yeah, and then if you cut it, it's now decoration. So.
What do you sell the most of for pants? What's the kind or brand or whatever?
You know what? It's strictly a preference on who's coming in. Whether it's a price point. Solider, the great pants for the
What's
price
like
point.
the top of the line kind of stuff as far as brands or quality stuff?
I would say, that, once again, they're all very good brands. So we sell a lot of Arbortech, a lot of Soliders.
This is Arbortech right here, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. A lot of, both of those brands are very, very common for us.
What is this one here?
That's a Solider.
Solider.
That's a climbing pant.
And the climb ones, yep.
Those are chainsaw pants. Boots, you name it, like it was a little bit of a free-for-all.
What are your boot things? I use Hikes. That's what I.
We carry those as well. We may not have brought those down here because Hikes is here. They have their own booths, so we kind of stayed away from that.
So who do you deal with at Hikes? Who's your sales? Is Tracy?
Tracy Klein.
Yeah.
Tracy is my girl. She is fantastic.
She's awesome. Yeah, she couldn't be here at this show because she's doing some training course.
Yep.
She's the instructor, I guess.
Oh, she's amazing.
She couldn't be here. She's
amazing.
Awesome, yeah.
We love her. She comes up to our store, our shop, and just.
Yeah, I've got the I call them my ruby red slippers. I got the Protector Plus 2s. I call them my Dorothy boots. Everybody gives me a hard time about them. They're awesome. And then I've got the 200s, my everyday boot.
Yep.
And then they got a couple new pairs I'm looking at wanting
They're great boots. They are great boots. Scott wore his Hikes boots. Those aren't his right now, but he wore his out till they literally wore them out. So now he's on his third pair. He had them for three years. He had loved it. Kept his feet dry and wore them all winter long.
So this is part of your booth over here too.
This is still,
well, let's look at the rest. I didn't realize this was yours.
We've got pruner poles. Both Marvin and Jameson. Scabbards for the bucket trucks or spider lifts, those things. Chainsaw lanyards, gloves, bull rope, climbing rope, just a little bit of everything.
Yeah. Do you guys have an actual storefront store?
We do. We have one of the most unique stores in the industry. It's in a barn.
How big of a store is it?
It's about 3,800 square feet.
Oh, that's a nice size building.
It's a barn. It's a historic barn. It's on the historic registry. It's 120 years old.
Nice. That's almost as old as me.
Right? I feel you on that one. But it's great. We had it completely restored, so it's got a unique twist to it.
So if it's a barn, can you climb in it too?
You can. Yep, we've got
tryout gear.
Yep, we have everything on display that can be tested.
Very
want people to understand the product that they're
So
buying.
now that obviously with online sales, how is your sales online compared to in the store, and how is it growing?
We still have more. Our online presence is growing, but most people come into the store because they want to touch, feel, play it with it, and then we can guide them and teach them how to use the equipment properly.
Sure. I see you got the silky saws over here.
Oh, absolutely.
Those are nice. They're like some of the best blades there.
Absolutely.
That's a nice color. Everybody gives me a hard time about pink. I put pink tape on all my tools.
We do the same thing.
Because I drop them on the ground, you can't see them, so I put pink duct tape on everything.
We've got bags of all kinds, all different brands. Oregon, we're starting to carry a very large selection of Oregon bars and chains. I use a lot of
Oregon stuff, bars and chains. They're very reasonably priced and they work.
They absolutely. You can't tell at the end of the day which saw cut it.
My favorite saw is the one that's running well and has a sharp chain. That's my favorite one. I don't care. I always tell people I'm non-denominational. I don't care. I just want it to work.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely.
Very cool. So what do you got in here? You got a whole...
Yep. This is part of our travel trailer. We take this to shows all over the United States.
Very nice. So this is just all the small gear stuff you got here. I've done it for a long time. Nice.
Yeah, we set up. We have a blast. We get a lot of the tree climbing competitions.
Oh, sure.
And we
here
set
you
up.
Got your harnesses over here.
Oh yeah.
Full line of harnesses. So what's your number one selling harness?
There's no rhyme or reason. There really isn't.
It's just what people like.
Yep, absolutely. So that's why we try to carry a variety of things.
Yeah.
The only thing that we sell is probably more unique is the Valiant saddle. Which is a custom saddle that you 100% put together with your own knots.
Individual.
Yep, very individualistic.
Depends on hip size, leg size, weight, all that, right?
Yep. Any type of accessories they put on there, that's something that's 100% done to the climber's discretion.
Well, let's talk to your boss man, the rope man. So this is Scott, and he is the splicer, and he is about to work on a splice here that he's working on. You do custom splicing for people?
Yes. Yeah, we do a lot of custom splicing. We do climbing lines and work ropes and ropes on boats.
Yeah, yeah.
Whatever they bring me, I guess, is the best way to say that.
So what do you do the most of? Is it for guys that are
climbing lines? Probably climbing lines. We do the most climbing lines. Guys come in, purchase things. We make a lot of lanyards too, but it's mostly climbing lines. We won't do used rope. Guys will buy rope from another company that they didn't get an eye in and bring it into us. If it has been uncoiled or out of the bag, we will not do it.
So you're going to do a different braid on it now, I'm guessing.
So what we're doing now is we're going to taper this down, because what we do is you pull the inside out of the outside, and then you take the outside and put it back in the inside, and the inside back in the outside, and then you pull it all back through. If that makes sense?
Yep.
You see the two snakes eating each other? That's kind of what we're going to do with this.
And it becomes very strong and gains strength, correct?
So a splice will retain about 90% of the rope strength. When you start tying knots, you can lose, depending on the knot, you can lose up to 50%.
Oh yeah.
For different knots. So guys like the splices. They're not as bulky as a knot. They work better with certain gear. Some guys, unfortunately, in our industry can't tie knots, so they splice everything.
Yeah.
Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to taper this back a little bit, because this has to go back inside.
Yeah.
So you can't take all of this material and all of this and squeeze it back in. It won't fit. It's too much material. So we'll taper this down, and then where these cross over, they'll make a nice smooth taper crossover, and pull it all back through.
Yeah.
Okay.
So you got to have clean ends and everything, right?
We get them as clean as we can. I mean, you're never going to get it perfect.
So you're cutting that at an angle. Why is that? So you can taper it in gradually?
Yep. So it's going to go. It has to mesh with the other ones. So we get a nice long taper on it. Get a couple of these long ones off.
Now, I know you're a highly skilled professional, and my guess is your advice to people that are going to try to do this themselves is do you want your life hanging on a thread that you don't know if you got it right?
We get a lot of guys that try to do their own stuff, which you can. If you know what you're doing, you have to follow manufacturer's directions for the type of rope that it is. There's different types of rope. There's different splices, or we're going to call them recipes, for the different ropes.
Right.
So some companies have their own little recipes for their specific ropes. And you have to follow that. We get guys that try to sew their own stuff together.
Yeah.
So we send things in to get tested. We'll do a bunch of splicing on different things, and we send them out to be broken.
Stress tested, yeah.
They put them on a machine and they break test them.
So do you test your stuff too before people take it, just to make sure everything's...
Well, I can't break it and then give it to you.
No, I know that, but I mean, you're making sure that everything's tight and everything.
Yeah,
right?
So we're going to go through, once I pull this together, and you'll see how that works in a minute. If we have that much time. I don't know how much time you have.
No, you just give me the basics.
Okay, so that's when the magic will happen.
We don't want to show everybody how to do it. We just want to show. I want you to show that you know what you're doing.
We do a class. Well, we help with a class. A guy named Mark from Fids and Fibers. I can't say Mark's last name because he won't tell us how to pronounce it. So Mark comes out and he does a 2-day splicing class. It's called Fids and Fibers. We'll probably have one in the spring. And you can learn how to do all this stuff, or you can come to the shop and hang out with me on a Saturday and learn how to do it.
Well, I'm not the guy that's going to learn you. What I'm going to do, I'm going to give you some money, and I'm going to have you do it, because I don't do my own dentistry work either.
I tell everybody, there's 2 things you learn when you start splicing rope. One is that you really like to do it, or 2, that you hate it and you want me to do it for you.
Yeah, I'm that second one.
Okay, so we're going to go over here, and I'm going to drive this in here, and we're going to pull it home. All right, come on over here.
It's like you're carrying a baby.
Kind of. So normally in the shop, I've got a big table that we do this on, but at the shows or competitions we go to for splicing, we don't have that.
Yeah.
So we get to come out here and hook to a good anchor.
Well, it's nice that you got the gate to work with then.
Yeah, we use the gate, sometimes the trailer itself. Yeah, you want to hang on to that for me, it would be awesome. So now what we're going to do, so we have all this, we're going to pull this down in here, like so. And it's going to get sucked back up inside of here. All right. Milk this down.
My guess is you've done that once before.
I've done a few of these.
A few thousand?
A few thousand. Maria, can you grab me a carabiner?
Yes.
I'm gonna put a carabiner in here just because I don't want to
keep it.
Well, if this comes all the way down, I get this buried real good. You catch your finger in here, and that's not a lot of fun.
It's the Chinese finger trap.
You learn that the hard way. I don't know where my one that I always use is at, so we're going to use just this one for now. So now we're going to do a final pull on this. So if all your tapers are good, you've done everything right, it'll go in there with a little bit of finesse. We get it in there.
Very pretty.
Okay, and then we're going to set this. Make sure, oh, we're going to do one more bury on that. Just because. I'm going to sink it a little more.
What kind of weight is this going to be able to hold?
So this rope here, I believe, is rated for 6,500 pounds. So when they brake test this has to meet at least that.
Yep.
We've never had a splice break. They always break somewhere else.
Right.
At, you know. So now we'll set it.
Yeah, a lot of times the splice is stronger than the rope itself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get an eye in there. Now we have an eye.
There you go.
Nice eye.
That's a work of art.
And we'll whip this so it doesn't come apart at all. And you can tell with the whipping on there if it's been overloaded.
Sure.
That whipping will get distorted.
Sure.
So that's what we're going to do next.
Very good.
There you have it.
Excellent. Thank
ENDORS
you.
Arborist Rope Supply.
So there you go, folks. That's ENDORS. They sell online. They got a store in Ohio. All the stuff for arborist work, or if you need ropes for doing work with trees, they've got the stuff. So check it out. That's it for today, folks. You know what to do. Poke the buttons. I'll be back tomorrow morning, 5:30 a.m. with another video for you. Good night, everyone.